Welcome to another deep dive. This time, we're taking a close look at Reliance Industries.
Reliance Industries.
Yeah, they're an Indian conglomerate.
Right.
And they've got their fingers in so many different businesses.
Yeah, lots of different industries.
From energy, of course, to retail, to
Yeah.
digital services.
Big player.
And they're really interesting. We asked you to send in some source material, and you sent in the transcript of their Q3 FY25 earnings call.
Earnings call transcript. Great.
It was held on January 16th, 2025, just the other day.
Very recent.
And we're going to dive into it.
Yeah, let's do it.
There are some pretty fascinating highlights in here. They posted record earnings.
Record earnings. Wow.
Booming domestic demand.
Yeah.
There's an interesting battle happening between traditional retail and e-commerce.
Yeah,
And
fascinating.
we're even starting to see a little hint of AI on the horizon for Reliance.
So, where should we start?
Well, why don't we start with just like the big picture? What did those earnings tell us?
Okay. Big picture. Reliance Industries just posted record consolidated earnings,
Really?
showing strong performance, both year on year and compared to the previous quarter.
Wow. That's impressive.
It is, yeah. But what's really interesting is that their consumer-facing businesses are really taking the lead.
Oh, okay. You mean like Geo?
Geo, exactly, for
Right.
mobile and internet.
Mm.
And then Reliance Retail for, well, pretty much everything else.
Yeah.
They're everywhere.
These two segments now contribute more than half of their total profits.
That's a pretty big shift, right? Because didn't they start off like mainly focused on oil and gas?
Yeah, traditionally that was their core business.
Yeah.
But this shift really highlights their strategic understanding of where future growth lies.
So they're tapping into India's growing middle class.
Exactly. And their demand for digital services. And, of course, the ever-expanding desire for consumer goods.
Yeah. It seems like it's paying off big time for them.
It certainly is.
Speaking of Geo, I was reading about the incredible growth of their 5G network.
Right.
170 million 5G subscribers already. That's fast. Really fast.
Yeah, that is lightning speed.
I mean, it's partly driven by India's rapid adoption of 5G-capable phones. But here's the kicker.
Okay, what's the kicker?
70% of people buying those 5G phones are choosing Geo.
70%. Wow, so they're dominating the market.
Absolutely dominating.
But is that just because they have, like, aggressive pricing, or is there something else at play?
Well, pricing is definitely a factor, but I think we also have to consider the quality of their network and their strategic partnerships. They've been very smart about building a robust infrastructure.
And it's not just about the number of subscribers, is it? I mean, what's even more impressive is that 5G already accounts for 40% of the traffic on their network.
40%.
40%, even though it's still relatively new.
Yeah, that's incredible. It shows that 5G adoption isn't just hype. It's translating into real usage. People are actually using it.
Yeah, it's really changing the way people experience the internet.
Definitely. And it's not just limited to big cities either. Geo's Air Fiber, their fixed wireless access solution.
Yeah.
It's connecting towns and villages,
Really?
reaching those underserved areas. They added 2 million new air fiber connections this quarter alone.
Wow, that's a lot of new connections.
Yeah, and their ambition is even bigger. They're aiming to connect over 100 million homes across India with this technology.
100 million.
That's their goal.
Wow, that's going to be game-changing, especially for bridging the digital divide in India.
It has the potential to be truly transformative.
It really does. It makes you wonder, though, is Geo just focused on connectivity, or are they aiming for something even bigger?
That's a great question. And based on what we're seeing, their ambition definitely goes beyond just connectivity. They're pushing hard into enterprise solutions.
Oh, interesting.
And they've set their sights on becoming a major player in the world of AI.
AI. Wow, that's ambitious.
Very ambitious, yeah. But they're already making some interesting moves. Remember that announcement about Geo AI Cloud?
Yeah, I read about that. 100 gigabytes of free cloud storage, wasn't it?
Yeah, 100 gigabit for every Geo customer, plus AI-powered photo features.
So they're not just giving away free stuff, they're actually integrating AI into their offering.
Exactly. And they're making it accessible to millions of people.
Yeah, it's a pretty smart strategy. And what about that GeoCloud PC thing? I'm really curious about that.
Oh, GeoCloud PC. Yeah, that's about to shake things up.
Yeah.
Basically, it lets people turn their TVs into full-fledged PCs via cloud computing.
Whoa, really? So you don't even need to buy a computer?
Not a traditional one, no. It's all powered by the cloud.
Wow, that could be revolutionary, especially for those who can't afford a traditional computer.
Exactly.
It has massive implications for digital inclusion, doesn't it?
Huge implications. for inclusion, for productivity, for education.
Yeah.
It's really fascinating to think about the possibilities.
It really is. I mean, it makes you wonder, what does this mean for the future of personal computing in India?
It's a question worth pondering.
Yeah. But before we go down that rabbit hole, let's talk about Reliance Retail. Can they keep up with all this digital momentum?
Well, they're evolving in their own unique way.
Okay. How so?
They just hit a major milestone, over $10 billion in revenue
In a single quarter.
in a single quarter. That's massive.
That's huge. But isn't everyone shopping online these days? I'm surprised their physical stores are doing so well.
That's the interesting part. Their brick-and-mortar grocery business saw a 37% year-on-year jump.
37%. Wow. You'd think e-commerce would be like taking over.
You would think, right?
Yeah.
But Reliance Retail seems to be mastering this blend of offline and online experiences.
Oh, I see. So they're not just competing, they're kind of integrating.
Exactly. Take their express deliveries, for instance. They use their vast network of stores to deliver groceries in under 45 minutes.
45 minutes. That's faster than most online grocery services.
It is, yeah. And it's a clever way to compete with those quick commerce startups while leveraging their existing infrastructure.
It's brilliant. They're using their strengths to their advantage.
Exactly.
And speaking of strengths, they've also been pushing their own brands, like Campicola and Independent Snacks.
Yeah, they're gaining traction.
Big time. I think I read that each brand is on track to cross Rs 1,000 crore in sales this year.
That's right. They're really leveraging their scale and distribution to create these successful brands.
It's a smart strategy. They're not just competing with established brands, they're creating their own categories.
Exactly. And catering to evolving consumer preferences.
It seems like they're learning from the e-commerce giants, too. I mean, using AI to speed up their design-to-shelves process.
Yeah, and personalizing the customer experience.
So they're taking cues from the digital world, but also capitalizing on their offline strengths.
It's a fascinating hybrid model.
Yeah,
And it'll be interesting to see how it evolves as they continue to learn and adapt.
definitely. Okay, so we've talked about the digital side of things, but Reliance is also a major player in the oil and gas industry, right?
That's right, the energy landscape.
With all the volatility we've been seeing in the global energy market, how are they doing on that front?
Well, their oil to chemicals business, or O2C, has actually remained quite resilient.
Really? How have they managed that?
Strategic investments. They've been focusing on light feed cracking.
Light feed cracking.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they've been really smart about focusing on the booming Indian market.
I see. So they're hedging their bets a little bit.
In a way, yeah. They're not putting all their eggs in one basket.
Makes sense. I remember reading something about their ethane cracking capabilities.
Oh, right, yeah.
How's that working out for them?
It's saving them a lot of money. Something like $300 per ton compared to traditional naphtha-based methods.
$300 per ton.
Yeah,
Wow. That's a significant cost advantage.
it is.
I'm curious, though, how exactly does that work? What makes ethane cracking so cost-effective?
Well, it all comes down to the feedstock.
Okay.
Ethane is a natural gas liquid, and they use it to produce ethylene,
Ethylene.
which is a key building block for a lot of different plastics and chemicals.
Oh, I see.
And the process requires lower temperatures and pressures compared to traditional naphtha cracking. So that means lower energy consumption, lower operating costs.
Makes sense. So it's a win-win.
Pretty much, yeah.
Huh.
Plus, they're sourcing ethane from the U.S. where it's abundantly available and cheaper.
So they're strategically sourcing their materials.
Exactly.
Smart move. And it looks like they're benefiting from strong domestic demand for fuels, too.
Oh, absolutely. Gasoline is up 44%, and diesel's up 23%.
44%.
Right.
Wow. That's a big jump.
It is. Their expansion into retail fuel sales has really allowed them to capture a larger share of the Indian market.
So they're not just riding the wave, they're actually driving it.
Exactly.
It's impressive how they're navigating both the global chemical landscape and the domestic fuel market at the same time.
It's quite a balancing act.
Right.
But they seem to be managing it well.
They do. And they're not just focused on the present either. They're making some big bets on the future.
Oh, absolutely. They're investing in a massive PVC plant. Yeah. And they're expanding their specialty polyester production as well.
Interesting. What's driving those decisions?
Well, they're anticipating future demand trends.
I see. So they're thinking ahead.
Always. And they have the financial flexibility to make these strategic moves.
Yeah, thanks to the strong cash flow from their consumer businesses.
Exactly. They're in a good position.
It's remarkable how they're balancing the present and the future across all these different business areas.
It really is.
I mean, they're in energy, they're in retail, they're in digital services, and they seem to be succeeding in all of them.
It's what makes Reliance such a fascinating company to follow. They're constantly innovating and adapting.
They are. So out of everything we've talked about so far, what stands out to you as the most intriguing aspect of Reliance's recent performance?
I think what's really caught my eye is Geo's aggressive push into AI, especially with that GeoCloud PC initiative.
Yeah, that one's a head scratcher for sure.
It is.
It's bold, but it could really change things
It could.
in a big way.
It could really disrupt traditional computing models.
And truly democratize access to technology in India.
Exactly.
It's a fascinating development
It is.
and one that we should definitely explore further.
Absolutely.
So before the break, we were talking about Geo and their pretty big push into AI.
Right.
100 gigabytes of free cloud storage with AI features, that's got to be an expensive strategy.
Yeah, it's definitely a bold move. But I think they're playing the long game here. It's not just about acquiring users, though that's certainly part of it. They want to build a whole AI ecosystem.
An ecosystem.
Yeah, one that's like seamlessly integrated into the lives of their users. And remember, we're talking about a massive user base.
Right, millions and millions of people.
Exactly. And they're not all tech-savvy early adopters. Geo's reaching everyday people.
So they're trying to make AI accessible to the masses.
That's the idea. Democratizing AI, making it relevant to everyone.
That GeoCloud PC, the one that turns your TV into a computer, that seems to be a big part of that.
It is. And it could be a game changer, especially in India, where a lot of people can't afford a traditional PC.
Right.
But with GeoCloud PC, all you need is a TV and an internet connection.
So it opens up a world of possibilities.
Exactly. For education, for business, for just like everyday life.
Like students in rural villages could use it to access online courses.
Yeah, exactly.
Small businesses could manage their operations.
A whole new way of thinking about computing.
But couldn't this hurt the existing PC market? I mean, if everyone's just using their TVs.
Well, disruption is kind of inevitable in the tech world, right?
Sure.
But it's not always a bad thing. I think this could actually lead to a whole new wave of innovation.
Oh, okay. How so?
People will start developing applications and services specifically designed for this cloud-based model.
That are tailored to the needs of the Indian market.
Exactly.
It's not about replacing PCs entirely. It's about creating something new.
Expanding the possibilities of what computing can be.
And it's not just about access. It's also about affordability.
Right, which aligns perfectly with Geo's mission to make AI an integral part of everyday life in India.
But we have to talk about the potential downsides of AI too.
Oh, absolutely. We can't ignore those.
Things like job displacement,
Mm-hmm.
data privacy,
Big one.
algorithmic bias. These are all very real concerns.
They are. AI is a powerful tool. And like any tool, it can be used for good or for bad.
Right.
So it's really important for companies like Geo and for policymakers to be responsible.
To be ethical.
Exactly. Transparency, accountability, those are key.
Do you think those concerns are being addressed?
I think there's definitely a growing awareness of these issues,
That's good.
both within the tech industry and among policymakers. It's an ongoing conversation, but I'm optimistic.
Okay.
I think we'll see more robust regulations as AI becomes more widespread.
Let's zoom out a bit and look at the global picture.
Wow.
How does Geo's push into AI impact India's position in the tech world?
It has the potential to be a defining moment for India. They already have so much talent. Engineers, data scientists.
Yeah, India's a powerhouse when it comes to tech talent.
Right. And Geo's investments in AI could really accelerate that innovation.
Put them on the map as a global leader.
Exactly.
Plus, with their massive user base, they have access to a huge amount of data.
Right, which is the fuel for AI.
So they can create solutions that are tailored to specific needs, not just in India, but globally.
Exactly. And because of their scale, they can develop and train AI models on a level that most companies can only dream of.
So they're not just participating in the AI revolution, they're actually shaping it.
That's what's so exciting. It's going to have ripple effects across all sorts of industries.
Okay, give me an example. How could this change things?
Well, imagine AI-powered healthcare diagnostics becoming available in rural villages.
That would be incredible.
Right. Or farmers using AI to optimize their crop yield.
Yeah, that would be a game changer for agriculture.
It could transform so many sectors.
Mhm.
Healthcare, agriculture, education, you name it.
And potentially attract foreign investment.
Exactly. It's a very exciting time for India's tech sector.
It is, but it's not just Geo that's embracing AI, right? What about Reliance Retail? Are they using it too?
Oh, absolutely.
Both so.
Well, while Geo's building platforms and services, Reliance Retail is using AI to enhance their existing operations.
Make them more efficient.
More efficient, yeah. And also to create a more seamless and personalized shopping experience.
Oh, I see. So, like, using AI to personalize recommendations?
Yeah, things like that. They're also using it to streamline their design-to-shelves process, which is crucial in fashion, where trends change so quickly.
So they can respond to customer demand faster.
Exactly. AI can analyze data on consumer preferences and purchasing patterns.
So they know what people want before they even know they want it.
In a way, yeah.
That's pretty impressive.
It allows them to optimize their inventory, make sure they have the right products on the shelves at the right time.
It's smart, it keeps the customers happy, and it improves their bottom line.
Exactly. They're taking a page from the e-commerce playbook,
Hmm.
but they're also integrating it with their offline presence.
So it's that hybrid model again.
Exactly. It's what makes them unique.
And their express deliveries are a great example of that.
Right. Combining their physical stores with their digital platform.
Seamlessly. They're offering a level of convenience that's hard to beat.
It is.
Okay, so personalization, that seems to be a big focus for them.
It is.
How are they using AI for that?
Well, they can analyze customer data to tailor their offerings. So recommending products based on past purchases or creating personalized marketing campaigns.
So it's all about creating a more engaging experience,
Exactly. And a more rewarding one.
which builds loyalty.
And drives sales.
But doesn't all this data collection raise privacy concerns?
It does. And it's something that Reliance Retail is very aware of. They've implemented strict data security measures and privacy policies.
To protect customer information.
Yeah, exactly. And they're being transparent about their data practices, which is crucial for building trust.
That's good to hear. So we've got Geo focusing on AI platforms and services, and Reliance Retail using AI to enhance their operations.
Right.
Two very different approaches.
But both very effective. It shows how versatile AI is as a tool.
Yeah, it can be used to create entirely new business models, like what Geo's doing.
Yeah.
Or it can be used to optimize existing ones, like Reliance Retail.
It's fascinating to see how they're both using it to their advantage.
It is. It seems like Reliance Industries is fully on board with the AI revolution. But what about sustainability?
Ah, yes. Sustainability, that's a big one.
We've talked a lot about their growth and their innovation.
Mm-hmm.
But how are they addressing climate change?
Right, the transition to clean energy. That's a crucial question.
And one that we'll definitely be exploring in the final part of our deep dive.
Stay tuned.
All right, we're back and ready to tackle the big question, sustainability.
Yeah, sustainability.
We've talked about AI, we've talked about their retail strategies, but now let's dive into how Reliance is approaching this whole sustainability thing.
It's a big topic for sure.
Yeah.
And it's become, essential for any business, really.
Especially a company as big as Reliance.
Exactly.
So what are they doing?
Well, the earnings call didn't go into a ton of detail about specific initiatives.
Okay.
But if you look at their actions over the past few years, they've actually been doing quite a bit.
So it's more about like actions speak louder than words.
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment. I mean, their commitment to net zero carbon emissions by 2035 is a pretty bold statement.
2035, that's not that far off.
It's not,
Yeah.
especially considering, their history with fossil fuels.
Right, they're a huge player in the oil and gas industry. So, it makes you wonder, are they really serious about this? Or is it just like good PR?
It's a fair question. There's always that skepticism. But their investments tell a different story. I mean, they've been pouring billions into renewable energy projects, solar, wind.
Okay, so they're putting their money where their mouth is.
They are. And then there's that recent announcement about the green hydrogen plant.
Oh, yeah, the green hydrogen plant. I keep hearing about green hydrogen, but I don't really understand what it is.
Well, it's hydrogen that's produced using renewable energy sources. So wind, solar, things like that.
Okay, so it's clean hydrogen.
Exactly. It's a clean alternative to the traditional hydrogen, which often comes from, fossil fuels.
So it's a way to decarbonize industries that rely on hydrogen.
Exactly. Things like transportation, power generation. Reliance sees green hydrogen as a major part of that transition to a cleaner energy future.
So they're trying to get ahead of the curve. But is green hydrogen even practical on a large scale? I mean, isn't it still really expensive?
It is. It is more expensive right now.
Yeah.
But the costs are coming down. As the technology improves and as production scales up, Reliance is betting on that trend. And they're not the only ones.
So other companies are investing in green hydrogen too.
A lot of them are. Governments, businesses, they're all starting to see the potential.
So it's not just a pipe dream.
It's becoming a reality.
So Reliance is taking a bit of a gamble, hoping that this technology takes off.
They are, but it's a calculated risk, I think.
Right, and they're not putting all their eggs in one basket either. They're also investing in solar, wind.
Exactly. It's a multi-pronged approach. They're building a portfolio of renewable energy solutions.
To, like, spread the risk.
Yeah. And to be able to adapt to the changing energy landscape.
Makes sense. It seems like they're trying to find that balance between their existing oil and gas business and this cleaner energy future.
Right. It's a challenge a lot of energy companies are facing these days.
Yeah, how to transition responsibly. It'll be interesting to see how they navigate that.
It will.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into Reliance Industries, what are the key takeaways? What should our listeners remember?
I think the main thing is that Reliance is a company that's not afraid to change, to innovate. They're not just reacting to trends, they're shaping them. Whether it's through AI, their retail strategies, or their push for sustainability.
They're a force to be reckoned with, and they're not just making waves in India, they're having a global impact.
Exactly. And it really makes you wonder, what's next for Reliance? What role will they play in shaping the future?
It's a big question, but one that we'll all be watching closely.
For sure.
All right, well, that's a wrap for this deep dive into the world of Reliance Industries.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining us, and we'll be back soon with another insightful exploration.